Welcome back to Imperfect Momming. I am your host, Coachalysialyons, and today is such a special episode because my book, Creating Little Miracles, is officially out. Writing this book has been an incredible journey, one of growth, challenges, and most of all, it's filled me with so much joy. If you've ever been curious about surrogacy, what it's really like, what the process involves, and what it feels like to bring a baby into the world for another family, then this book was written just for you. In today's episode, I want to take you behind the scenes, what inspired me to write it, what you'll find inside, and why this story means so much to me. I'll also be sharing where you can get your copy and how you can support me on this exciting new chapter. So grab your favorite drink, get comfy, and let's dive into the story behind Creating Little Miracles. Welcome to Imperfect Momming. Our children are constantly looking to us for examples. The term role model doesn't quite cut it here. We are shaping their worldview with every move we make. You see, it's not in the lectures we give or moments where we're actively attempting to teach them. It's in the micro movements we make, the unconscious ways in which we navigate life. We are constantly teaching our children how to show up for themselves, their friends, their future partners, and even their future children. So what can we do to ensure we are raising thoughtful, compassionate, self-aware human beings? We have to become them ourselves. No one is perfect, but we can all still be better, and it starts with self-healing. Let's get to it. So back in 2020, I decided to write a blog to go along with my journey that I was just about to start. It was going to be a sibling journey, which means that I had already had a baby boy for this family, and I was going to then carry a baby girl for them. This was going to be my first and probably only sibling journey because I wasn't planning on doing another journey after that. But the universe, God, whoever had different plans, because I found out that I was not pregnant the day that California shut down to shelter in place to slow the curve of COVID. After everything reopened in May of that year, I was put on hold by the family because the intended mother wanted to wait until COVID was over in order to have her next baby, which makes sense in theory, except I kind of knew COVID wasn't going anywhere. It was going to be the new flu, and we weren't going to ever see the end. So I gave her until the end of the year in order to decide to move forward before I was going to go to another family or search for other opportunities. So since COVID kind of disrupted the flow of this blog that I was writing, I thought, let's turn the blog into a book. And let's get all the questions that people have about surrogacy out into the open and into a book where we can kind of have this one-stop shop of information about what's involved in surrogacy. And I do that through answering all of the questions that I collected from my friends and people on Facebook and questions that other surrogates had heard in their journeys. I can't say that there was a specific moment in my surrogacy journeys that made me think, oh my gosh, I've got to share this with people. But I did notice that every single time I told somebody that I was a surrogate, I would get 1,000 questions. And even when I met my first surrogate, I had those same questions, and I wanted to know more about what it meant to be a surrogate. I was immediately interested. I also got a lot of comments of people saying, oh, I could never do that because I couldn't give up the baby. And I just thought, it's not about, I think that there's a mindset of going into this process that it's not it's not your baby and you're helping someone else. And so the attachment that people get inside pregnancy, I think, when you go into the pregnancy knowing that it's not yours and you're doing this for someone else, you don't really get that same type of attachment. And I really wanted to give people who kept saying, oh, I had thought about that, or I'd thought about doing surrogacy. The next step, like, what is it that stops people from, oh, I thought about doing that, to actually doing it? And I wanted my book to kind of help people get off the fence one way or the other. Plus, my last surrogacy journey, the intended mom, she was a big researcher, and she said, I never found anything from anyone talking about what the surrogacy journey is like. And so I felt like that was a need that I wanted to fill. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking, oh, I had thought about being a surrogate at one point, or maybe you were just curious about the process, or you just love stories of personal transformation, I want you to know that I wrote this book with you in mind. So like I said, I set out to answer all the questions that people asked me about surrogacy. I wanted to give them a frame of reference if they ever heard someone say, oh, I was thinking about being a surrogate, or someone who might be done having their own children but really enjoyed being pregnant. Yes, we weirdos are out there. I enjoyed being pregnant, and I was done with having my own children, and so I wanted to help families grow. I always like to say, if you've been listening to the podcast for any length of time, you've heard me say that I've been writing since I could put two sentences together. I love to write. And so writing my own personal story was, in some ways, a piece of cake. I would just take the question and answer the question to the best of my ability. And that's how the book came out. And so the writing part wasn't necessarily difficult, but I'm not a big fan of editing. So I would say if there was any kind of challenging part about writing the book, that it would be the editing part. And I remember looking back at a message that I had sent the mom of the little boy who I was going to do the sibling journey with. I had said to her back in 2023 that I was in the process of editing the book, and I'm pretty sure I didn't touch it again until January of 2024. So that kind of gives you an idea of how much I enjoy the editing process, that I really didn't touch it. I was also looking for other people to contribute their stories. My good friend Amanda Judd wrote her story about her egg donating process. I had another girlfriend of mine, Melissa, was writing her journey as an intended mother, and her struggle to get pregnant and her decision to go through surrogacy. And then I had another intended father that I met through my publisher, who is a single dad and decided to become a single dad through surrogacy, as he was a gay man who was not in a relationship but ready to be a dad. Once I had all the pieces of the puzzle together, I knew that I just was ready to get the book out onto shelves. And I think I said January 2024 earlier, and I'm in January 2025. So there was a pretty big gap between saying that I was editing it and actually publishing it. But I think the thing that kept me motivated was what I said the purpose of writing the book was for. I believe that that really anybody with the right mindset could do surrogacy, and there's a really great need. And I'm pretty sure that I I was pretty sure I couldn't do it anymore. So I wanted to spread the word and let other people know that it is possible and what the process is. And like I said, to get them off the fence one way or the other. I think the biggest takeaway that I want for people to get from the book is that surrogacy is a really selfless and rewarding process. There are so many men, women, couples, singles who want to be parents that maybe surrogacy is their only option. And there's just simply not enough surrogates in the world to fill the demand. And I think that it's just a matter of a lack of understanding, a lack of awareness about it. And that was what I wanted to share in the book, was to give people an understanding of what's involved and get them to take the next step. So as I mentioned earlier, my book is called Creating Little Miracles, a guide to surrogacy. And you can find my book on my website, alicialyons.com/books, or on amazon.com. And I would be truly honored if you would leave a review on Amazon, because it helps more people find the book. And if you know anyone who's interested in surrogacy, curious about becoming a surrogate, curious about the surrogacy process, or just loves to read inspirational stories, I would love for you to share my book with them, and I would be truly honored if you did. Also, March is Surrogacy Awareness Month, and I have been posting a video every day for the month of March, and I will continue to share the 31 truths about surrogacy in honor of Surrogacy Awareness Month. So you can check out my videos on your favorite social media sites. I'm at coachalysialyons on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. I want to thank you. If you are listening all the way to the end, I want to thank you for being a listener on my podcast, for supporting me through this book launch. And I would love for you to reach out with any questions or thoughts on social media. If you do order the book, I would love for you to take a picture of yourself with it and tag me. And again, like I said, leave a review, because that is really important for Amazon algorithms. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already to the podcast, as that will also help people find the podcast. And if you want to hear more on surrogacy and motherhood and personal growth, this is where you'll find it. The next episode of Imperfect Momming will be out on Friday, and we have a special guest, Cheryl Scott, to share with you about productivity and do what you're good at and rely on pros for the rest. So stay tuned, and until we meet again, keep healing. Bye, guys. Thank you for tuning in to Imperfect Momming. It's time for us to step up and realize that our power is not in trying to shape our children. Our power lies in shaping ourselves into the people we want our children to model themselves after. Don't just do it for your kids. Do it for yourself. When you become a more self-aware, compassionate, and confident person, you and everyone around you benefit. For more information about me and my work, visit alicialyons.com. That's ALYSIALYONS.com. And until we meet again, keep healing.